Hello and welcome. We're the co-founders of Inanna Sanctuary, and we have put together this program, and we created this because we've been getting a lot of demand for something that is more accessible for people who aren't quite ready to jump into our intensive retreat program, or maybe who aren't able to travel. And so we've brought this to you, and it's going to be freaking amazing. So we're excited to introduce you to this.
Yes, we are. This is a program that's going to create an empowered environment and opportunity for men who are feeling frustrated and confused about how to express themselves authentically in today's world, and to assist them in discovering their true identity, gaining sexual self-mastery, and reconnecting with the divine feminine and joyful partnership as sacred warriors.
Yes, as the sacred warriors they're born to be, and that way they're able to interact with women, each other, and the world around them in a way that is both honoring and powerful. And this is true no matter of your sexual orientation or anything else. So it's just a really beautiful and powerful space that we have created, and we love that it has a private mentoring aspect to it, as well as the online program, and then a group aspect as well with support from others.
And as much as possible, we're going to be working in experiential processes.
Yes.
There's only so much you can do with that in an online format, but we have found we've got some awesome processes we're going to share.
Amazing tools. It has to be as experiential as possible in an online format. So
that's where the transformation truly happens. Yes, yes. And we want to describe week by week what we'll be covering.
It's just a brief overview, but you'll get the idea.
Yeah.
So week 1 is all on the history of human sexuality. Of course, there'll be processes involved, but in this module, we're going to create clarity on how we got to this place in history, where we come from, and where we're going from here. And this journey through time is going to explore significant events and shifts that changed how women and women's sexuality and sexuality in general for everyone were viewed through the millennia, and why that was changed. And we'll examine the way sexuality has been shifting more recently as well, and how it's being influenced by porn, technology, and movements such as Me Too. There's so much to all of this, and if we don't understand where we came from, it's impossible to understand where we're at or how we can shift that.
Right. And we'll be also during this module setting mindset tools into place so that will aid you throughout the program and in your own life.
Yes, these tools are absolutely powerful and applicable to every aspect of your life that you want to create significant change in. And, just know that you're not alone in your frustration and desire for more, because we all deserve better. Everybody's frustrated right now, and so let's unite and be the ones who create the balance in this world.
Beautiful, yes. And in week 2, we're going to be covering the how to heal sexual shame and trauma, and just so that we can stop being triggered and start living a activated and powerful life.
Yeah, so we're really going to go into depth in what is sexual shame and trauma, and how it's affecting us on a day-to-day basis, and how we can eliminate it from our lives. So this is really going to go deeply into all of these questions and provide you with the knowledge and the tools to begin the releasing. And some people call it healing, but it's really all about releasing the resistance that we store in our bodies because of these traumas and experiences that we have, the emotions that we hold inside of ourselves, the shame, which is a huge one, how we can release that, because once you release the resistance, then you can allow in what it is that you desire. And until then, it's blocked, right?
Right. Shame has been used throughout the millennia in order to repress sexuality and to keep people in line. It's sort of a mind virus, an attempt to get people to police themselves through shame and through guilt. And unfortunately, it continues on to this day, and it affects people in very negative ways.
It's been a very, very effective tool for those who are seeking power to keep us divided, to turn us against each other, and to make us in competition with each other. And this has not served anyone. And the greatest shame has been aimed at women, because we as women are so powerful when we're tapped into our sexuality and our pleasure. But it has served no one, and including men just as much. Because when women are shut down, men aren't getting what they want either, what they desire, and they're not getting that connection. And men have been taught so much about, so much bullshit about what's masculine, and shaming of the feminine. So
Yeah.
it's not serving anyone. And really, truly, our sexual energy is the infinite source of creation, the manifesting power within us. And our power in ancient times was honored by men and women alike. So it's time to learn how to heal the generational trauma and reclaim our power.
Beautiful. And then with week 3, we'll get into the anatomy and physiology and the alchemy of orgasm.
Yeah, this is like the owner's manual for
Yeah.
the
Homer's
human body,
the human
the
body.
orgasmic experience. So it's
Yeah.
excited.
Yeah, and there's so much misinformation out there, and when you get into it, you'll realize just how much you don't know, and what you do know, how wrong it is.
Yeah, there's just not adequate teaching, especially for men. But women don't know either, because we've been shamed. We've been
They don't even know their own
taught not
bodies.
to ask the questions. I mean, science doesn't even really understand women's bodies adequately. They still fight over whether all women have G spots or not. So, and all women have G spots. All women can orgasm. That's bullshit when they're telling you 30% of women can't even orgasm. So no.
And we'll get into that quite a bit. Yeah,
Release the blocks to it, you can orgasm. So.
Yes. So we'll get into that a lot more in the module itself. And there's so much to learn. There's so much to let go. So much false beliefs to let go of, and it's one of our favorite modules.
And we're just becoming aware that women's bodies can be multi-orgasmic, and you can have orgasm after orgasm, but how many men have heard that men can have multiple orgasms, that men can have full body orgasms, that you can have non-ejaculatory orgasms and still have that intense, pleasurable release without releasing your energy in an ejaculation if you choose not to.
There's a lot more out there than you've been taught.
So much more. And how would it feel to be able to just keep going and going until you've come to the place where you're actually ready to orgasm, and your partner has had multiple orgasms? Like, yeah. Right?
And then
so week 4, and that takes us to week 4. And it's going to be all about understanding the divine feminine and sacred masculine archetypes. And this is all about recognizing our essential natures and our relationship to divinity, standing in our divine nature, and healing and integrating the shadow aspects of ourselves. And knowing this information is so useful, because then you get in touch with all aspects of the divine being having a human experience, and become aware of the depth and variety of our capacities, which is essential to find the balance that we deserve. And this balance brings peace and success at a deep level. And so both the divine masculine and feminine are explored here, because we all embody all aspects, but we lead with one. And when you are aware of both the qualities of each archetype as well as the shadow, like the shadow aspects of them, then you can recognize what's showing up in the shadow and know what's possible. So if you're recognizing the shadow, then you can kind of figure out what the triggers are going on and what needs to be released and integrated. So it's so powerful.
And week 5 is going to be about the distortions and dysfunctional beliefs surrounding masculinity.
And this is huge.
Yeah.
This is so huge.
So much confusion out there. Fear.
It's about identifying and releasing the unhealthy, misogynistic, and self-destructive beliefs that are taught about masculinity by society. and releasing all of that and replacing it with beliefs that have a clear, deep understanding of the role and power of the sacred masculine. Because what is actually taught and seen as masculine energy in the world today is not even the true masculine.
Yes.
So much of that has been lost in history.
Men have been subjected to a barrage of beliefs from birth. The colors that are acceptable for a male, the type of clothes, the color of clothes, the playthings that a male plays with, all these things.
And certain emotions are labeled as masculine and
Yes.
feminine, and men are shamed for anything that shows up as possibly being feminine. And so they've been taught to crush that within themselves. And, things like actually...
Ruthlessly.
Ruthlessly. Within themselves, within each other, and within women. So this is such a destructive and self-destructive thing, and it's really all about fully unleashing the masculine and feminine energies, both within each of us, to our perfect balance for us. And each person is individual in what that perfect expression is. So I might be 70% feminine and 30% masculine, perhaps. And another woman might actually lead more in the masculine. And
there's no shame
and
involved.
There's no shame in it. It's all perfect. Some men might present as 50-50 or even slightly to the feminine, or they might be 90% masculine, only 10, and it's all perfect. So it's about embracing your true expression.
Your natural, your true, not what you've been told.
And so many men and boys are deprived and starved of physical touch. And they've been taught that the only acceptable way for a man to get that is sex. And so even then, it's not fulfilling. So you learn about how to really step into that.
Yeah.
Shift those beliefs.
Definitely go deeper into that.
So these myths have actually distorted the relationship between men and women to the point that we can barely interact with each other. And both sexes are confused and clueless about each other. And so this really gets to the point where any trace of perceived femininity in men and within themselves and each other has been taken to the point of violence, really. Violence against themselves, violence against each other, violence against women. And men aren't getting what they need.
Yeah, and the shaming goes on. Men are placed into boxes, alpha male, beta male.
And when you try to repress something, it eventually comes out in ways that are dysfunctional. Unhealthy and dysfunctional. It will come out eventually, no matter how hard you try to suppress it. And then the destruction happens. Rape happens in cultures. Like the most sexually repressed cultures in the world have the highest rates of sexual violence and violence in general. So it's very, very sad.
And so we ultimately get to release both the masculine and the feminine aspects of our being in a healthy way, in a balanced way. That is our perfect way. And then we go into week 6, which we call Essentials of the Self. Such an important week when we're going to be going into the true, most fundamental concepts of who we are. How can we continue in life in any kind of a productive and successful way if we don't even know who we are? And further, going from that point is to why are we here?
And you can't know why we're here if we don't know who we are.
Right.
And really, honestly, to find out and discover who we are, we have to release all that we are not. All the bullshit, all the programming.
So this is so fundamental to being a human. And it gets you in touch ultimately with your life passion. And when you're in touch with life passion, nothing can hold you back. You can go anywhere. You can be truly.
Anything.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
So the essential questions: who am I? Why am I here? What is my life's passion? What questions are more important in life?
Must be answered in order to be
And the
truly,
truth,
fully embracing our humanity.
yeah, and the truth is, most people cannot answer those questions.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll never truly be able to love yourself if you don't even know who you are.
Right.
And if you can't love yourself, really, how effectively can you love others?
And we'll have processes to walk you through this and to get you in touch with that on a deep, fundamental level. And you'll carry this with you throughout the rest of your life.
Yes.
This will be your guiding principle.
Yes. Yes, and you are here for a purpose. It's time to step into that because we need you. The world needs you. Yes. There are people waiting for you to show up in the full essence of who you are. Perfect. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, week 7, a new paradigm for relationships. And this is a hugely important module because the old way just is not fucking working. So in this module, you get to take a hard look at how you show up in your intimacy and realize the insights that this has to offer you. Because relationships, really honestly, are catalysts for meaningful change in all areas of your life. You grow so much faster in relationship than you do by yourself because actually things are showing up in your partner as mirrors that are showing you where your blocks are, where your resistance is, and what needs to be released and looked at. So it's really, really powerful. So you'll get to get in touch with how this shows up in your life and how you can impact the results with your partner.
And then finally, week 8 will be is going to be about creating powerful shifts and meaningful connection in a Me Too world.
This is really, really big right now.
Very timely.
Very timely, yes. So if you're feeling like you're frustrated and there's no winning solution, no matter what you do, you're wrong. A lot of men are expressing this right now. They're really feeling it because society's messages around masculinity are mixed and inconsistent and contradictory even. And, you know, if you're too nice, you get consigned to the friend zone. And if you're too assertive, you're an aggressive asshole.
An abuser.
An abuser. Mm-hmm. And so, you know, you don't want to be labeled as a boring beta male man. And yet you don't want to be pushing too much and then end up having women resent and reject you either. So it's how to create that balance, how to create making the women in your life feel safe and honored and desired at the same time. Because, you know, women really do love to feel, they enjoy feeling desired as long as they feel safe. Mm-hmm. So it's how you can create that. There's so much. And, you know, we hear frustration from so many men about, you know, they see women who are engaging in relationships with men who do not honor them, who are abusive. And then they hear these women saying, how come there aren't any good men in the world? And you're like, I'm a good man, right? You know, right?
Yes.
Here we are, and you feel cynical. It's just so frustrating, and so many people feel lost in all of this.
Confused, fearful, wondering how to navigate what appears to be an impossible maze to navigate. Mm-hmm. So create a whole new reality with by getting in touch with who you are at a deep level, being fully expressed in your natural, authentic masculinity, accessing the power and confidence of that sacred warrior within.
Yes.
You will find that perfect balance and of vulnerability and healthy boundaries. And this will let you connect to your personal power at its most effective level and create the success that you can find in business, relationships, and personal growth, and which will provide a constant life, constant source of joy and contentment.
Yes. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful, powerful process. And we are so excited to have created this program and have this information available for so many men who have expressed so much frustration in what's going on and the lack of knowledge and teaching around how to really truly connect with the feminine in a beautiful way and how to be fully expressed in their masculine power. So we're excited and we invite you to go deeper with us and schedule a call if you feel like you'd like to explore further and find out if this program is really feeling like your next natural step in creating what it is that you desire in the life of your dreams.
Beautiful. It's good talking to you, and we look forward to talking to you further.
Bye.